we as BFS have a long-lasting domain knowledge of the industry. And especially with this product where we were now awarded with the design award, we first of all were analyzing how is the market, how is the setup, how is the whole installation of water done nowadays. And with the knowledge of the drinking water stations, the HIUs, we basically already now preparing hot water for the apartments. And within this, we said, why not going one step further and even control the water flow in the right temperature to the customer? So this was like the basic thinking with all the investigations we have done. And then, of course, it was together with Pekka and his team, how to make it appealing and especially simple for the user. So it's a new way of supplying water.
I think we have a long-lasting history with each other already, which we kind of wanted to use. And when it comes to design, you always want to have a design which you replicate, right? When you see a Uponor product today, you want the end customer feel in a way it belongs to Uponor. And therefore, you always want to have elements in there which you will always find again. So using the same, in this case, supplier, it's an advantage for us, right? That this comes then also across in all the products. And this is why we feel it's a strong relationship we have today. Why not keep utilizing it?
Yes, we actually have a history of about 8 years of collaboration, design collaboration. And we've been working on a strategic design level, so design guidelines, and then going on an operative level. We calculated that we've done together 15 different projects. And knowing the design guide and the design DNA helps us to implement those elements so it is a coherent entity. The portfolio looks very similar to each other, which is in value. And so us being a vendor that has already collaborated with Uponor helps us to create products that are similar to each other.
We had the first kick-off meetings with Pekka and his team, and then we basically stepped more into this feasibility stage. Of course, it needs to be everything what we think from a concept perspective, of course, needs to be somehow manufacturable and working. And we were super proud that we could present it already on the last dish.
Well, we are very much a process-oriented company, so obviously you need to gather enough data to understand what you're designing for. And because design is about differentiation, we really need to make sure that we have our own design. With that knowledge and combining that to the Uponor design guidelines and design DNA, we were able quite quickly to come up with the general form factor.
I think the most challenging part is, for me, always the same, to make it very easy for an end consumer to interact with a product. Imagine you're in a hotel the first time you go in the shower and you don't want to, search for a button where to turn the shower on, or have then a unpleasant surprise sometimes, right? When you just get a cold shower, when you actually want to enjoy a warm shower. I think this is the essence of a product like this. It needs to be very easy to understand. At a glimpse of a few seconds, you walk in and just enjoy the shower.
We did get quite a bit of briefing from David and his team, which helped us to reframe the design brief in general. But the shapes and the simplicity comes really from the Uponor's design DNA. We want to reduce everything that is not necessary, and then hold everything together with the design principles that we use for Uponor design, which then it makes it pretty easy and it makes the runtime of the design process quite a lot faster.
I would say it was challenging. First of all, because as I mentioned before, we have quite a lot of knowledge about the market, about installer preferences. We also already provide end customer products like our Smartrix system, for example, which has an interaction to the user. Some discussion, how do we want to make the operation? So we decided for a rotary wheel to have it as close as possible to things which people know from air conditioning in the car, where you also don't have the time to look the few seconds how to operate it. So you also have to do it kind of intuitive.
I think it's the simplicity.
Yeah.
And I think this is also the most challenging one. So when I look at the team, right, I mean, when they do the end consumer research and, trying to understand all the different features you can build in, the development team always likes to bring as many features in as possible. But at the end of the day, right, we really need to concentrate what's the essence for end consumer and to really reduce it to what is really necessary and what is needed. And take all the parts out which are unnecessary. And then, at the end of the day, get a product which, has all the basic features in a very easy setup, very easy and fast to understand, and still a few cool features which are really interesting for an end consumer. That's what I'm really proud of.
When you talk with the people and explain why we do this, why this is so logical, as I mentioned, we already prepare hot water for the apartments and combine this with the I-Shower controller is like a logical step. Yeah, when we anyway have the water control in our hands and the temperature, why not just preparing the water in the right temperature and not heat it up and cool it down again like it's done traditionally? So this explaining this to the customer was for them like, hey, you're right. Of course, when I was talking with the customers, also making me very proud about what we have achieved.